UFC Fight Night ends with a buttload of cool submissions. Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou are hell bent on fighting each other, and Marvin Vettori wants Dylan Khamzat back to back. This is Kai and Itchy's MMA Hour. All right, welcome to another episode of Kai and Itchy's MMA Hour, where two goofball fans word spar on the fastest growing sport in the world. I, of course, am one of said goofballs, Kai Schwartz, and I'm joined by my good friend, Mendy Itchy Ikhlovich. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in again. Episode
This
8,
is episode
I think we're
episode
on.
7 because of the abortion of last week.
7?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So for us, it's episode 8. For you guys, it's episode 7.
yeah,
This is what we do here. We're a bunch of goofballs, so we're just trying to figure this shit out at the end of the day.
yeah.
So bear with us, and we'll have a lot more coming, that's for sure. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it, Kyle. What do you got?
Well, of course, I mean, UFC Fight Night, Lemos versus Andrade, otherwise known as UFC Vegas 52, was this past Saturday. And, my excitement level was very low. I was actually starting to feel like this was a chore because last week, UFC Vegas 51, it was so fucking boring. Was it Bilal Muhammad versus Vicente Luque? That whole card was trash. It was the worst card I have ever seen since I started watching MMA. But this week surprised me. I went in like low energy, and I left like walking around just being like, whoa, because crazy submissions. That was if one takeaway from this Saturday night submission game on fleek. Just crazy.
Yes.
Let's talk about our main event. Jessica Andrade gets the first ever standing, what is it? Standing arm triangle choke in UFC history against Amanda Lemos. This is
Uh,
incredible.
Incredible. I mean, if you ever get a record in the UFC, it's one thing, and then if you ever get a first in the UFC, that's a whole different thing. We see records being broken all the time: most submissions, or most knockouts, or most this or most that. It's usually the same couple guys going after it, but when you talk about a first time ever in the UFC, I think that's huge. It's just something that we never seen before. We love new stuff in the MMA world, just in general. We like to see new things happen. We like to see, oh, so this is possible in a fight. We train these type of things, in the gym, just to have in your arsenal just in case. But to see it go and being executed in a fight, in an actual fight, I think it's just so fucking exciting for us fans. We can see that it's actually possible and someone could do something like this. So yeah, it was fucking crazy, honestly.
Yeah, and it's just the idea that Jessica Andrade, who is relatively short and stocky, of course, she has a lot of muscle to her. The fact that she goes up against this much taller opponent and she's able to put the squeeze on her so tight, even with her arm inside on the inside, Lemos' arm on the inside, and just able
Home
and
close.
is yeah, and
Yep.
is still able to just out of pure squeeze because it's not like she's using the fence or the ground, gravity as any sort of advantage. It's just pure, unfiltered squeeze. I swear, Jessica Andrade
Yeah.
needs to change her name to the Python because that was an
Some shit.
inhuman feat. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that was possible. I was speaking to my coaches today at my gym, and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, we do it in practice sometimes, but this is not something we would even attempt in a fight because
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
so
Yeah. It's
risky."
fucking crazy.
But I think a lot of it has
It's so
I think a
risky.
lot of it has to do with the fact that Amanda Lemos kind of just dropped the ball because she had her right arm free through that entire exchange and she didn't use it because normally when you're in that position you would throw shots with your free hand, you would throw shots to the body, shots to the head, just try and like anything to loosen it a bit, just to
Something.
catch
Yeah.
catch the sub attempt her off guard, but she just didn't do anything. I mean, and I say,
Yep.
let's go to the video here. I'm gonna pull this up for us. You talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy that one, that she attempted it, two, that she actually succeeded in doing it, and
Yeah, I mean, she, like I said, Andrade, holds her up and just Lemos doesn't do anything. Like she has that her right, or she's trying to pull. This is a mistake. I don't know why she's trying to pull her off of her like that. Instead, you should be throwing shots. She's kind of like, I guess it's so tight that it's just a defense. It's a survival mechanism. You need to pull off of there. But I mean, it's crazy to me. And Andrade in the post fight interview, she said that she had no plans for that. Like she did a little bit during practice, but it just what she was actually trying to get Lemos on the ground and finish a choke there. But when she saw that Lemos wasn't really resisting the standing choke, she was just like, I'm just going to go for it.
At least some knees or some kicks or something. You know what I mean? So I honestly don't know what was going through Lemos's mind. Of course, I wasn't there, but I can assume that the squeeze was so tight that she couldn't really think of anything else. I mean, that would be the only excuse that you could give a coach, for just getting all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, just I'm still speechless just thinking about it. Just uh, this was the
Yeah.
first. It's so I can't remember the last time I saw a first in the UFC. It's been going on for like 30 years. It's very
Yeah.
rare that you see something happen for
Very
the
rare.
first time. So
Yeah,
I'm,
for sure.
good on her. And she deserves all the bonuses. And
Uh-huh.
I think
Now we know why she's the number one.
yeah, she's number one in flyweight. Now she's moved into
Yeah.
strawweight. I haven't checked the updated rankings yet. Let's take a look to see where she sits right now, because
Yeah, I mean that's what you get as the number one fighter in the world at your weight class. You know what I mean? You're getting someone who will try new things. Excuse me. Will try new things, and of course will get you in things that you've never seen before. So I think this was Lemos's first time really going against a top contender there. So it's now she can see the power of these women up at the top. You
yeah,
know.
they have not
That's,
updated the rankings yet. But if I was the UFC, I would be putting Jessica Andrade in the top five. And that and so what I tweeted out after that, because when someone mentioned like, oh, she should be in the top five, my brain immediately set off Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Book that now. That
whoa,
is the fight to make,
great
because
point. That's the
with
fight.
Rose Namajunas and Carlos Esparza fighting in 2 weeks, and then you have Zhang Wei Li and Joanna with their rematch in like I think like a month. Uh, Marina Rodriguez is just sitting there, and I talked about this before. What do you do with her? Because I don't think her performance against Bianchi Nan was justified getting the next shot after Carlos Esparza. But this is perfect. Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. That is the fight to make. That would be an incredible fight. I mean, I personally,
100%.
but I gotta say, after this past weekend, I think Andrade would just crush her. I think
Yeah, I
Marina's
mean,
very good, but Andrade is a fucking monster.
yeah, I mean, her confidence has to be through the roof, especially after a performance like that. So I can only see her coming in hot in the first round, looking for a finish, looking for something. As you know, she wants to keep that streak alive. She just want to be on that losing streak. So I mean, there's nothing better than a fighter with momentum. It's the number one confidence booster, knowing you're off of 2, 3, 4 wins, whatever it is. So there's nothing better for a fighter than coming in knowing that you've won all your last fights and you're ready to fucking
Yeah.
go.
And I mean the
So
setting
yeah, she becomes more
And I mean,
dangerous.
how they set it up will be a big factor in how the fight goes, because they can do this one of two ways. Either they can put them on a pay-per-view card, like lower, or they can make them the main event on a fight night. I think if they put them lower on a pay-per-view card, that gives a little bit of an edge to Marina. But if they put it as a main event on a fight night, a 5-round fight, I think Jessica Andrade just murders. I don't think that Marina
Yeah,
can
I
last
agree.
5 rounds
I
with
agree,
that.
and yeah, and I don't see them doing anything else but giving her main events at this point. She proves that she can be a main event fighter. She clearly proved that she can finish in the main event, and those nerves don't get to her. So I think those are huge factors when you're considering putting event. knowing that they've done it before. Of course, she's been in championship fights before, but at least you know that she can take a whole card to herself in a sense, knowing that she's the highest ranked in the main event, pretty
Yeah,
much.
and but I mean, that finish, as amazing as it was, wasn't the only highlight moment of the night. Like I mentioned, I mean, this was really the night of crazy submissions. And of course, in the co-main
Yeah.
event, we have Claudio Puelles. How do I say it? Puelles? Puelles?
Puedes,
Puelles? Puelles?
Puedes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I never really heard it being said
Claudio
across. I don't know.
Puelles
Claudio
versus
Puedes.
Clay Guida. Another insane finish. Knee bar. I mean, and if you watch, this is one of the craziest jujitsu moves I've ever seen in my life. Like the way the flip.
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, when the video was shared on Twitter of the finish, I literally saw people comment, "This is sped up, right?" And I'm like, no,
No.
no.
This is this is
Yeah, let's go to the video. It's astounding. I could watch this a million times. I've watched this a million times. I mean, you see Clay Guida has top position and that reversal and the knee are just gorgeous. A gorgeous transition. This is one of the just seamless. It's quick as shit. I mean, this is that's a dream transition. That's something that like you get in practice. You're like, dude, can you imagine if I could actually pull this off in the octagon? But and this, I mean, it was a pretty even fight before that. I mean, you had good shots by Guida, good by Duelas. You know, it was just this this transition is like, oh my god, how is it so smooth, so fast? I'm gushing over this. Honestly, like this is in a way this is cooler than the Andrade thing, just because of just this is a perfect transition. You know, I mean, as of right now, I don't do BJJ at my gym. I just do Muay Thai kickboxing, but I watch the BJJ people before we go up, and even they who are all pretty advanced, they're not doing transitions like this. It's wild as fuck.
no. No, fuck no. No, the people on in your gym, my gym, they're not let's just say that caliber of a fighter. That jujitsu is high fucking level. So high level, Clay didn't even know what to do. It was so fast, it was so quick, it was so smooth. Clay had was lost. And he's been fighting for 100
Yeah.
years. So, someone like that, you would think he understands all the transition or at least knows what to do when he gets into a situation like that. But as we saw there. I mean,
Yeah, I mean
too much for Clay.
he's on
Too
a
much for
five
Clay.
fight win streak in the UFC. I mean, does he get a top 15 guy next after doing what
Well,
he did to Clay Guida?
he def yeah, he definitely deserves that. Just from the finish, from being the co-main event, from just stepping up to the plate. All in all, I think he deserves a top 15 guy. I mean, why not? I guess did he call somebody out
No,
after? I
no,
didn't
no. He
get to
didn't
see
call
it.
anybody out.
Nobody.
Was he a last
Okay,
minute
so
replacement?
I
I
don't
feel
remember.
I
I don't remember.
feel like he was a replacement. I need to recheck. But I mean, no matter what, I mean, just absolutely incredible. Uh,
If he did that on a last minute replacement, I don't know what the fuck he does on a full
yeah.
camp. If he was a last minute
I mean,
replacement, that's a scary.
maybe against. I mean, I'd like to see him maybe against Carlos Ferreira or Brad Riddell. You know, give him like 14, 15. Like let's get him into the top 15. Let's see what he can do when he's at this elite level because, if he's pulling knee bars like that, I'll watch it all night long, every time. Like
Oh yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah,
he
that's
has
actually crazy.
three
Just don't get him on the ground. He's like Charles. Don't get him on the ground. He's gonna eat you alive somehow, some way. I guess the danger is on the ground. I didn't really see any stand
he's
up game
gotten
from him,
three
but
knee bar
I think
submissions
his
in the UFC. Three. You know how rare it is I see
really.
a knee bar at
Yeah,
all? He has three of them.
yeah. So that's his thing. That's what I'm understanding. That's
That's
his thing.
fantastic.
He just gets
Yeah,
you.
I mean his
Good to
jujitsu
know.
level is just off the fucking charts.
Off
Yeah,
the fucking charts. Yeah,
and then
it's
we also
insane.
had an incredible submission from Charles Jourdain in his fight against Lando Venata. I mean,
Yeah.
very quick finish, perfect guillotine choke. I don't have the video for this, but I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I know a lot of people that watch MMA, they love to see like knockouts. They want to see a brawl. And I get it. I love that shit. But honestly, high
Oh
level
yeah.
grappling, that's my favorite shit. That gets me. I love
Oh
just
yeah.
like the gamesmanship. I guess just like it's just watching them scramble. Like when we watched Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha Torres. Like just
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
it requires I think a much higher fight IQ to be very good on the ground in those kinds of scrambles.
It's it's different. It is a fight IQ, but I would say it's a ground fight IQ. Right? There's a standing fight IQ, then there's a ground fight IQ. Now, the reason that it's called MMA is you can use any type of martial art that you want. So, the point is that I'm trying to make is that it's such a superior martial art because if you don't know one move and you don't know how to defend that one move, it's over. I'm sorry, buddy, but it's over. So the thing that jujitsu is, it's so fucking complicated. It's so complex. It's so quick. It's so smooth if you know how to do it correctly. That if you can't defend one thing, I'm sorry, buddy, the game's over. Fight's over. So that's why I think jujitsu is the most superior grappling, the most superior martial art in general. I mean, if there's anything you should learn in fighting, it's jujitsu.
Yeah.
So that's just
Yeah, I
my
mean
opinion.
these Canadian guys fucking crushed it. Charles Jourdain and Marc-Andre Berriut were both French Canadian. They both got guillotine chokes in the first round. They were back to back fights. They did
That's true. Wow, I
They
didn't
did
realize
very,
that.
and in fact, Jordan even
That's
mentioned
crazy.
that. He's like, "This is crazy." Like, I saw my fellow Canadian out there, and of course, I'm a brother out there, and I gotta go in and put on a show. So, that's cool. It's good that Canada is really overdue for a new star. They really haven't had anyone like super big since GSP, and
Yeah,
they're
really.
overdue for something special. I mean, it's cool to see these sort of older bastions of MMA revitalized, like what's going on in the UK. With we saw UFC London, which was fucking amazing, and it's cool to see Canada also have more and more strong prospects coming in. I like seeing cool talent from all over the world. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I like that it's getting more of an international sport, more countries coming in, more fighters from all over the place. So yeah, I definitely agree. I like that there's more inclusivity than everybody
Yeah,
else,
and I mean, there's
for
one thing
sure.
I'd like to talk about. Something very interesting that happened in the prelims. The very first fight of the night, Mike Jackson versus Dean Barry. It it was so odd. Dean Barry got three, not one, not two, three fouls on Mike Jackson in the first round. Okay, it was I think two eye pokes and a groin shot, and the last eye poke, it was an eye gouge. Like he got into that eyeball. It was horrifying. And
Wow.
Mike Jackson was like, "Yeah, I'm done." And like it was really bad. And they ended up disqualifying Dean Barry and then giving it to Jackson, giving the victory by DQ. And it's so funny because 2 seconds before they did it, DC was like, "They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to give it a no contest." And they rolled it by DQ. And he's like, "Oh shit!" They're actually doing,
Yeah.
which I think it was the right call. I think that, as much as we hate to see a disqualification, when you have repeated fouls, over and over again, especially in the same rounds, like you don't do a no contest. No contest is for like something accidental, like what happened in Bellator last week.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
something like this, like it was absurd. I mean, and all three foul shots were nasty. They were nasty. The first eye poke was pretty bad. The groin shot was rough. Was like he was. I've normally when fighters take a groin shot, they have a 5 minutes, but they usually only take like 30 seconds. Mike Jackson took like 2.5 minutes because that's how bad it was. But it's so funny. He said, "My balls feel like they're on fire," and I'm just thinking to myself, "So you can't thinking about Derek Lewis." I'm like, "So you can't handle the heat, huh?"
Or why don't you take off your pants, pretty
Yeah,
much. Following the footsteps of the good old Black
yeah.
Beast.
But I mean, this was a pretty fire card. I mean, you had
Oh, I
three
agree.
knockouts,
For
three
sure.
knockouts, and four submissions, 4 out of the 5. And although the one fight that did go to decision, Macy Barber versus Montana De La Rosa on the first only decision on the main card, that was a pretty fucking fire fight too. Uh, Macy
Yeah.
Barber did something very interesting to me. She did some amazing clinch work that I don't see that often. Like normally when you're holding someone in the clinch, you don't do much. There's some shots here. You can't do power shots. You're right next to the person. You're right up on the person. You're just doing like little shots.
Elbow.
Yeah, but you're just doing like minor shots to get points for the most part. But she wasn't doing. She was doing some elbows, but she was striking Montana De La Rosa with full force while in the clinch position. She was shooting off heavy shots while literally right on her. That was impressive as shit. And I think that she had her in the clinch for I have to check the time, but at least like 6 or 7 minutes of the fight was
Wow.
Macy Barber having De La Rosa in the clinch. Although De La Rosa did reverse positions a few times, but mostly Macy Barber having De La Rosa in the clinch, just fucking teeing off on this woman while right on her. I was very impressed with her performance.
Yeah,
And
for sure. I mean, she had double the strikes that Montana had. She had I think 4 times the significant strikes that Montana had. I mean, she literally destroyed her in this fight. Just in total on the board. If you look at the points, if you look at the number of strikes, the control time, everything, she completely dominated, and that's why, of course, she won by unanimous decision. I mean, it's at that point you just got to give it to her.
yeah, nice little battle of the baddies. I liked it.
For sure. Yeah, and they're both cute. I hope we can say that.
Yeah, we can say whatever the fuck we want. This is our
Yeah.
podcast. Fuck,
I
dude,
know, I know. Don't want
dude,
to
I'll
get
tell
hurt.
you,
Don't want to
dude.
get.
Let me tell you about the dream I had last night. Okay, I had a
Oh
dream
my God,
last
here we
night
go.
that I was at home. I was at home, but of course, my home was much nicer in my dreams because my dreams are nice to me. And Megan O'Leary knocked on my door and wanted to hang out with me, and I'm like, what the fuck do you know where I live?
But
And she was in like this short like black leather dress with like that where like I'm not gonna go into too many details, but I was
anyway,
like my brain was good to me that night. So
yeah, let's just say that for sure. Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, what it is. When they're good looking, they're good looking. What can you say?
yeah. I think it's super funny how when I asked you who do you think is the most attractive person in MMA, you said Laura Senko, who's not even a fighter. I'm like I
She
get it.
was,
Okay.
she was,
Okay, she
she
was
was,
a
she
fighter.
was,
Okay. Like
she was a
okay.
fighter.
Yeah. I was super
You
funny.
never said act. You never said active MMA. You said
I kind of
MMA.
yeah.
She was
I
a
mean,
fighter.
Megan O'Leary is still queen, even though she's not a fighter.
Yeah, but she was not a fighter. She's
Yeah,
not in
yeah,
the thought. She had to have gone
yeah,
into the octagon at least
yeah,
once.
yeah. But let's just get back to talking about the fighters.
Yes.
I'm not sure if anyone watching heard about this, but Marvin Vettori and Robert Whitaker were supposed to fight in UFC 275. Whitaker pulled out recently due to injury, which just sucks. But it creates an amazing opportunity because what did Marvin Vettori do? Marvin Vettori, uh, fucking, you
Looking
know,
for the clout. Looking for
looking
the
for
clout
clout,
is
looking
what's
for
going
being
on.
smart. Say what you want about Marvin Vettori. This dude knows fitness. All right, he knows how to. He's good at selling himself. I'm telling you right now.
No, for
So
sure.
he
I mean, when you're the top fighter in the world, or at least top three, I mean, you get to call your
Yeah,
shots,
so
you know,
so
and He deserves.
Vettori decided, he tweeted out, "We're back at this. I think I'm the only 185er that can say it, that has never pulled out of a fight. But anyways, smash boys. I'll get you back to back. Let's do it. I'm willing to die. Just show up." So he wants to fight Darren Till and then Khamzat Chimaev back to back, which sign me the fuck up.
Sign me the fuck up. I think Darren Till gets knocked the fuck out by Marvin Vettori. Why do I say that? Just because first of all, I saw his last fight, and if you saw both of their last fights, you'll see for yourself that Marvin Vettori is definitely a little bit ahead in confidence and in ability than Darren Till. So let's think about this dream matchup. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? They're going to strike. Marvin Vettori is not going to try to take him down, right? He's going to try to strike with him. I think okay, on the feet, usually I would say Darren Till would knock him out, right? But I think Marvin Vettori is just so fucking durable that if he did hit him once or twice, he'll take one or two hits to give one or five hits. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of those fighters. He got a fucking head the size of a basketball, okay, and as hard as a rock. You know what I mean? He can take those punches from Darren Till, and I think maybe I'm going to go back on the takedown. I think he takes a couple punches and then takes down Darren Till and maybe just smashes him until the end.
Yeah.
I don't think Khamzat's going to be happy about it, but I think that's going to
Do you think
happen.
Khamzat would even move up to fight Vettori?
He has to take over 170 first. That's what his coach said.
Right.
He's like, he can fight at both weight classes. He already has, and he can do it, but he wants to take over 170 and then move to 180.
So replace. So what? Okay, so replace. What's his name? Robert Whittaker with Darren Till is what you're saying for UFC 275. And we gotta get Khamzat up quick. I know that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that
Yeah,
Khamzat will not fight
actually,
Colby Covington.
yeah.
I think that Colby will fight Bilal Muhammad, which leaves Khamzat open to fight Usman probably towards the end of this year. Which means
Fuck no, you're right.
no, no. I
No,
told you.
no, I
I
don't
told you. I
believe
told
that.
you. Yeah.
No, 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 no. Colby Hamzat is next, and I'm gonna put my money
Yeah. How much
on
you want to
it
bet?
that it's
Let's bet on air right now. Let's.
I'm betting it right
Pick an
now.
amount of money.
I don't have that much money. Okay, so I'm not gonna bet a lot of money, but I'll bet
I don't
something.
know. Pick a
Okay,
number.
I'll bet something. I'll put. I know it sounds horrible because we're not rich, but I'm gonna just because I'm like 99% sure he's gonna take it. There's still that 1% chance in my head. Um, Let me see what I can give you here. Does it have to be money? Could it be something else? Could it be like a dare? Can I do
Oh,
something?
you want to do?
I think it's more money is nothing.
You want to do a dare for the
Money
gram?
is not
You want to do a
exciting.
dare for the gram? We'll,
Yeah, we can do a dare
all
for the
right,
gram.
We'll figure out something. We'll get back to you
We'll
guys.
figure out
All right,
something.
but
We'll
all
get
right,
back
but
to. We'll figure out something. And the loser.
I'm betting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
Go.
betting that Colby Covington punks out fighting Khamzat and he fights Bilal Muhammad instead, and Khamzat gets a straight shot at Usman after Leon Edwards. And you're betting that
No.
Colby and Khamzat do fight. So those are the two.
100,000%. Next fight for Khamzat Chimaev is versus Colby Covington in a main event. Probably. No, they're gonna do it with fans because they'll do a fight with fans, and they're going to be main eventing it. It's going to be Colby Covington, Khamzat Chimaev for the number one spot at the welterweight division, and then the fighter that wins faces
All right,
Kamaru
we'll
for the
see.
title.
We'll
That's
see.
what it's going to
But
happen.
you really think you think if Colby beat you think if Colby beat Khamzat, they would give him another title shot, right?
I think they would have to. I don't think there's a fucking question. Unless he doesn't call out Kamaru after and calls out Dustin or some fucking bullshit. Then yeah. But I don't think so. I think he's gonna be like, all right, fuck it, I beat the number 2 guy in the world. Give me or maybe he fights Gilbert after. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Maybe if he doesn't want to fight Kamaru, if they don't want to give him Kamaru, if they don't want to do a trilogy, then it would be probably Gilbert Burns after number 1 to fight number 3. And then he'd be the reigning, defending number 1 contender in the world. That's what he would be. He wouldn't be anything else. He would just be number 1.
Yeah,
He
that
would
just
just stay there.
can't manage to beat Usman. I mean,
Yeah, it's just not gonna. No one's gonna beat Usman. Let's be honest here. I mean, Khamzat
I wonder
will
how long. I
try,
wonder how
but
much
we'll
longer
see what happens.
Usman. I wonder what his plan is. Like, how long he's going to hold that belt for. I'm just like curious because it's like how many, how long do you stay before you're like, all right, I'm ready to move on?
I think once he's beat all the top contenders, that's when he's gone. So I'm gonna give out a little map for you. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little map for you guys to understand. He's beat Colby Covington. Okay, twice. He beat Jorge Masvidal twice. Now he defend the belt with anyone else before? Gilbert Burns. He beat. Okay, we're talking about two out of the top five he already beat. Let me pull up. Okay, I'm literally looking at this right now. Let me pull up who else is in front of him, who he's beat already. Let me see. Jorge, Sean Brady, Neil Magny, Michael Chiesa. Okay, he hasn't fought any of these guys. He just fought Leon Edwards like 7 years ago or whatever. But besides for that, he hasn't fought any of the other top guys. Now, let's be realistic here. Okay, who has actually a chance that Kamaru is like excited to wake up in the morning and go train for this guy? Khamzat Chimaev, number one. Okay, number one. He's already beat the number two and number three, which is Colby and Gilbert Burns. Number two and number four. Sorry. Then Leon Edwards, he's already going to fight. Okay, he's going to fight Leon Edwards. I think we all know what happens there. So where he's already beat, if he beats Leon Edwards, he's already beat 1, 2, and 4 in his division. Okay, and he beat number 8, which is Jorge. He was like number 4. The only guy he should be scared of is Khamzat Chimaev. I don't think he's scared of Belal Muhammad. Okay, let's be honest here. Belal Muhammad doesn't pose a threat. Vicente Luque, don't think he poses a threat either. Stephen Thompson, I don't think he's going to make it there. And the rest of the guys are too far down
I don't
for
know
us
if
to
I
think
was
about.
if I was if
Right?
I was if I
Wouldn't
was
you agree?
Kamaru Usman, I would just have one eye out for Sean Brady because I think Sean Brady is going to do amazing things. Sean Brady's already done amazing things. His win over Michael Chiesa was dominant as fuck.
Yeah, he's got a
But
little
yeah, he got a
he's
little
got
way
a
to
little
go.
way
Of
to
course,
go
I'm
to
not
get
saying he doesn't,
to
but
go fight for the
he's what
championship.
15 and 0
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah. What I'm no, I'm sure it's fucking savage. I'm just saying that like what's on
of course,
Kamaru's radar?
it's
Like that's
just it's just
Kamaru's
it's just
radar
Leon
right
and
now.
Khamzat basically.
Leon and Hamza, and I think once he beats them both, I think he's going to call it a day. He's going to try to go for the Canelo fight, which would be, let's say if he does fight both of them, you give him another year to fight both of them off, which is Leon in July, and then you have Hamza, let's say 6 months later, probably has some injury, he's going to have to take a 6 month suspension, whatever. Then 6 months later, he fights Hamza, and I think after that, he's going to be like, all right, I'm pretty much done. There's not really anyone else that scares me, anyone that I can get up in the morning for. He's going to shoot for the Canelo fight, and then I think he'll be out. I think that's mostly what I'm looking at here. I just don't see anyone else unless he moves up and fights Izzy for like
No,
a
he'll
crazy
never do
super
it. He'll
fight.
never do it. They're friends. He'll never do it.
But I don't
He's
know if he'll
that
do that.
I
I mean, unless they pay him
yeah.
big money, then
He said
maybe. But that might be like his
yeah. I think he
retirement
said
fight or
like
some
$10
shit,
million,
you know.
dollars, so that's not gonna fucking happen. Uh,
I mean, shit. If it's his last fight,
no, I
fucking
agree
choose him
with
out.
what
You
you're
know, who
saying.
knows?
I think that he'll beat Leon Edwards and Khamzat, and then he'll try to fight Canelo, and then he'll probably end up becoming an Eagle FC commentator because he's already done that a couple times. I could see him doing that like full time.
Or UFC and Eagle
Yeah,
FC.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
done
yeah.
both.
I could definitely.
He's done
I
both.
could see him
He
being
can
a
switch off.
panelist. He'll be like a panelist, like Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
100%.
I think that
He'll be a coach too.
I
He'll be a
think
coach too.
it's so funny that the commentator. I still think it's hilarious as shit. The commentators for Eagle FC are Chael Sonnen and Henry Cejudo, which is like, why? Why?
What do you mean?
No,
Because they're amazing. First of all, Chael Sonnen is the best talker
yeah, but
of
you
all
remember the
time.
video.
Okay,
He
nobody
doesn't
could
say
beat him
anything. He doesn't say a
ever.
lot that's worthwhile.
Yeah, but that's not the point. It's
Yeah, it is.
entertaining. Okay, it's entertainment at the end of the day. You got to have a guy who just talks shit.
Yeah.
Okay, like he's the Joe Rogan of that cast. He just talks shit. He knows a lot about fighting, but he talks
That's
a
what
lot of
Cejudo
shit
does
too.
too.
You know what I mean? He has fun. Yeah, but Cejudo is a fucking. He's fighting now, motherfucker. This is his time. You know what I mean? It's very
Yeah,
different. Chael
I
is
could
over. So
see.
he's kind of like maybe like the Daniel Cormier even instead of Joe
Yeah,
Rogan instead out there. He's more of the Daniel
I could
Cormier of the
see
group.
Usman replacing Cejudo as Cejudo gets back into the fight game over at Eagle FC.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That
100%,
makes
100%.
sense.
I agree with you. I agree. 100%. But yeah, I mean, as we're talking about probably the best division in the UFC, the welterweight or lightweight, yeah, Kamaru doesn't really have anywhere to go from here. I don't think he gets excited. He doesn't get paid enough, honestly, to give a fuck about these guys. And I think he's shooting for a $30 million paycheck against Canelo Alvarez. That's really what he's looking for at the end of the day. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, what else?
Oh,
What else we got?
well,
Kai,
there's
what else we
this
got?
rumor. Although with Usman, there is this rumor. I don't know if it's true. It sounds stupid. It's something that
Okay.
Chael has been spreading around, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. He
Uh,
claims he
conspiracy theory.
claims that Leon Edwards is going to keep his fight pay, but he's going to pull out of the fight against Usman in order to let Conor McGregor fight Usman, and then he's going to fight Usman after. And apparently he was, according to Chael, which that Usman that Edwards was offered full fight pay by the UFC in exchange for stepping aside and letting Connor in to fight Usman. I haven't heard other
Now,
reports on this, but if that's true, then that shakes up everything.
no, it doesn't, Kai, and I'll tell you why. Usman
No, I
knocks him
know
the
he does.
fuck out.
I know he
That's
does, but it
why.
stalls. But it
That's
stalls.
why.
It
Let's shake
stalls
up everything.
everything.
Connor comes in, loses the fight, makes no. Connor comes in,
Yeah,
loses the fight, makes 50 million, and walks home. That's the fuck's gonna happen. The welterweight division is gonna be the
yeah,
same. Now, if you want to talk about the one percenter, where Connor comes in and knocks out Kamaru, which is the 1% chance instead of a 99% chance of Kamaru beating him, then we shake up the whole
yeah.
welterweight division. Then we're talking about a grudge match with, of course, a rematch for Kamaru, but then a grudge match for Khamzat and Connor. Because I don't know if you heard this, but Khamzat, as the crazy man that he is and that we love, when he did hear about the bullshit with Khabib back in the day, he actually took a flight from Sweden all the way to Dublin and got stopped in the airport by the authorities of Ireland and said, "Sir, you cannot come into this country because we know what you want to do to Conor McGregor. So get on this plane and go back to Sweden. Thank you very much." So we already know that there's bad blood there between Conor and Khamzat. And if for whatever reason the mystical Mac has come back to town and decided to knock out Kamaru Usman at the end of the day, we will see some crazy
Yeah, I don't know.
matchups in
He'd have to.
welterweight because
Yeah,
he will shake
even
up
if
the
he
whole
did it
division.
once, he would have to do it twice. He can't just do it once because obviously Usman is guaranteed a rematch because of his history. He'd have to do it twice, which is not possible. It's not. It's not possible. Like once, maybe a lucky miracle sort of thing, but
Lucky shot.
twice,
One lucky shot, yeah.
twice? No, 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 no.
It's too much. It's too. Connor's so fucking exciting, bro. I'm sorry. Like, if we actually see Connor Kamaru in 2022, holy fucking shit! What a crazy ride for Connor to get all the way back from a broken fucking leg back to fight for the 170 pound title to be and potentially be a three-weight world champion. I mean, that would be absolutely. Talk about a first, Kai. Talk about a
If
first
I
in
had
the
to put if
UFC.
I had to put
You
money
know,
on it, the first fighter that's going to
fucking
hit
hell.
the 3 weight, if it's possible, is Cejudo. If I had to
Cejudo,
put money on it, it would be
100%.
Cejudo because he's already
I think, yeah, I think Cejudo fights Volkanovski in about 6 months. Prove me wrong.
well, it seems more the way it's looking right now. It seems more likely that he's going to fight Aljamain Sterling, but
Yeah, but that doesn't help him. He wants three weight classes. He doesn't
I don't
want
know.
to
But
go
for some
back to
reason,
his weight class. He would.
for some reason,
Yeah,
he
I don't
called
know.
out Sterling, and there's been a thing back and forth between them on Twitter. Uh,
It's clout. For me,
yeah.
that's all clout. That's all clout. I think in reality, I think it's a much better fight for him to fight Alexander Volkanovski. I
Well,
mean,
I
tell
mean,
me if
it
I'm
means
wrong. What do you think,
well.
stylistically?
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
Why?
It's.
The
I
reason
know
why
what
I'm
you're. I know
saying
what you're.
that,
Yeah, I know what you're gonna
yeah,
say. Probably because
he can take down Alex. He probably can't take. I mean, he could take down Aljamain. He can take
Aljamain
down
has
anyone
much
in the
better
world,
ground
but
game.
I think Aljamain much better. So that's why I think that he would be a lot more risky to fight Aljamain. And with Alex, he doesn't even have to cut that much weight. I mean, he's sure he has to cut weight. He has to get in shape. But I'm saying he's not going to have to cut down those 10 pounds, which is the worst 10 pounds. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I think it's much easier to stay at 45, cuts a little bit of weight, fights a guy who could barely wrestle, takes him down, smashes him, and game over. Yeah, that's what I think. Let's move on to the next story
Yeah,
here, Kai.
okay,
What you got?
so this makes me laugh so fucking much. So I'm not entirely sure where they were. I think it was Francis Ngannou
They're in the
showed up
UK. They're
there
in
in
the
the
UK.
UK.
They're in the UK. They were at Wembley Stadium.
Okay,
Wembley
yeah.
Stadium. Yeah, 92,000 people in attendance. By the way, Kai, just so you understand how fucking big Wembley
Yeah.
Stadium is.
So Tyson Fury
92,000.
made the second defense of his belt, and Francis Ngannou was in the crowd. And I guess afterwards he went up to there to challenge Tyson Fury to a fight. And for some reason,
Yeah,
for
written, by the
some
way, but
reason,
yeah.
Tyson Fury
Well,
asked Francis Ngannou about his dick size. He's
uh,
he's like,
okay. Well. I want to stop you there, Kai. I want to stop you there. As a man of his stature, okay, we're talking 6'5", about 295 pounds of pure muscle, straight from Cameroon. I mean, call me weird, bro, but I also want to know. Okay, I also want to know. There's no way we're dealing with a fucking Apple charger here. There's just no way we're dealing with something small and thin like that. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. Okay, now as the Gypsy King, I think as the heavyweight champion of the world, as the best boxer on the planet, on the scariest division on the planet, I think he has a right for the guy that he's gonna fight to ask one simple question that we all want to know
I don't
the
know who.
answer
Whoa,
to.
don't drag me into this.
Now, I assume that most people, besides for Francis Ngannou, were actually expecting him
Yeah.
to ask this
Yeah,
question.
yeah. Tyson
Okay.
said he's a good-looking lad. Have you got a big Corey? Ngannou was like, Ngannou confusingly responded, "What?
What?
What?"
What? Maybe that
Like,
explained that he just wanted to know the size of his man downstairs, so his guy downstairs. So, I mean, sorry, I actually just reading here is 94,000, even more than I thought. It's fucking crazy crowd. But yeah, just so you know, Kai, the difference between boxing and UFC, the biggest gate ever recorded was Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker in Australia, and I think the crowd was 58,000. It's about half of what they had there, and that's just a normal heavyweight championship in the UK. I mean, not normal because he's the best on the planet, but it is a champion,
yeah,
just a heavyweight championship, and there were double the amount of
yeah,
people. Just so you have a better idea of how
yeah.
big
And
boxing is.
Francis has been talking for some time how he really wants to box Tyson Fury. It's so funny. It's so
It's gonna
funny. It's so obvious to me how all of these UFC fighters they want to go and fight boxing matches against the best people in the game, not because they want to prove their skills or because they want to be a champion in two
Maybe a
sports,
little bit
but
of that,
because
a
they
little
know that
bit,
they're
a little
guaranteed
bit of
to a
that.
massive paycheck even if they lose. So,
Massive. Yeah, I mean, but don't they deserve it, Kai? Don't you think
yeah,
they
I just think
deserve
it's
it?
so transparently, it's like so transparently obvious. They're like, oh, I wanna test myself with the greatest in the world. I'm like, no, you want a paycheck. Like, no.
I mean, it comes with it. Hard work, hard work pays off. So they're gonna have to work hard. I'll tell you that. They're not just walking in against Canelo or Tyson or
Yeah,
any of these guys. They're gonna have to work their ass off to get there. So I think it's worth it. I think we all know it, Kai. No one's
yeah.
trying to hide it, but yeah, I believe so.
Apparently, Tyson has agreed to this fight, and he said that he was
Yeah,
actually
he's
planning
agreed.
on retiring after his last fight. But he's like, I'll go back in to fight Francis Ngannou, no problem. Uh,
Yeah, but he also said in the press conference that he's not against
yeah,
exhibition like what Floyd has been doing, making
that's
$40 million a
stupid
fight
though.
to fight a guy for
That's pointless
5 minutes.
though.
No, why? What do you mean? That's not. Listen, Kai. Listen. They're here. They're prize fighters. All these guys are prize fighters. They step in a ring to make money so they can feed their families. Okay, if you're telling me the guy can't step in a ring and fight someone who's not at his level to feed his family, I think you can't take that away from him. He's earned the respect. He's earned the right to go in with anyone, even if it's an exhibition fight, even if it's Francis Ngannou, any of these guys, to make money for food for their families.
Well, why can't
I have
they
no
have a real
problem
fight? I
with
don't see
that.
why they couldn't have a real fight in the same weight class. I don't see why they can't have a real fight.
The same way why Kamaru Usman would have won another real fight. They've beaten everybody. There's no one there
No,
that's
no, 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 no,
exciting
no,
to
no,
them. You know, the
no. I
deal.
don't understand why Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou can't have a real fight. Why would it be an exhibition match for the same weight class? Why wouldn't they have a real boxing fight?
Because he's not. Okay, so I'll answer that for you. So I think it's because he's not technically a boxer, right? So he trains as an MMA champion. He's an MMA champion. He's not a boxing champion. So he's not in the rankings of the heavyweight boxer. He hasn't fought his way to get like a Deontay Wilder or like a Andy Ruiz or like an Anthony Joshua or any of these guys who fight the top guys and are the top 5 in their division or a champion in
That's
the
not how
other
boxing
belt,
works, though.
right?
That's not real.
Well,
Not
boxing has
really how
different
boxing
belts.
works. I mean, Conor
Yeah,
McGregor got to fight
boxing.
Floyd Mayweather.
That was an exhibition.
That was an
match,
exhibition.
Bro.
That was an exhibition match.
I believe it was. I believe.
It was
I
12
believe it was. I don't even
rounds.
think it was
It was
12 rounds.
12 rounds. It was
Was
12
it 12
rounds.
rounds? I
It
think it
was
was
12
10
rounds.
rounds.
Conor only lasted 10. It was 12 rounds.
So if it was 12 rounds,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was an exhibition, but for Floyd in his head, it was. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't take it as he's fighting a champion. He's fighting some MMA dude who doesn't have the same rhythm as boxing.
Yeah,
So
I mean Francis has the punching power,
I mean?
but he doesn't have the head movement. I think the lack of head movement ability compared to an actual boxer, I think would be extremely damaging to him.
Yeah, skill wise, he doesn't come close to Tyson Fury. Everyone knows that. But it's the same idea as Conor fighting Floyd. If he catches him, it's over. You know what I mean? So it's the same idea to where if the guy lands one punch.
But this is how serious.
So that's the.
But this is how serious Francis is about it. Francis was with Ariel Helwani, and he said the Tyson Fury fight has to be part of any discussion regarding renewing a contract. That's not an option. It has to be. I will never sign a contract if it doesn't have that in there. So Francis is willing to walk away from the UFC if he does not get this fight. So I think this fight is going to happen. It is going to happen because
100%. I honestly could see Dana being very pity about this and releasing him from the UFC because they don't want to take a cut from it. They'd rather him.
Can you imagine releasing the heavyweight champion of the world?
I also think so. I also think it's ridiculous. But I think the fact that John Jones is coming back is that they can take a loss on Francis. I think that's how Dana would be thinking because he's very petty. You have to remember this guy is a very petty person. He doesn't like to be taken advantage of. Listen, he's going to get a piece of the pie, just like he did with Floyd. He's going to get a piece of the pie for that fight. But if the piece isn't big enough and it's not negotiated well enough and he wants to make his 30, 40, 50 million dollars that Francis needs to pocket in his fucking pocket because he deserves it. If the numbers aren't set, he'll walk away. He doesn't give a fuck. I don't think he has any he doesn't have any attachment to stay in the UFC.
Yeah, exactly.
He can go to Bellator. He can go to one champion.
Exactly. He can go to Bellator, become champion easier, and make more money. Bellator pays their fighters more. It'd be a good business move for him.
Exactly. So for him, his manager is telling him, if you want to make more money or you want to make less money. He's like, fuck this. I'm done making $600K a fight. I want to make $5, $10, $15 million a fight. And if I do the one fight against Tyson Fury without using my legs, without takedowns, without anything, you tell me I can make $40 million? Sign me the fuck up. I don't care if I get knocked out. I'll sign that dotted line right now. If you're telling me my kids
I think
are going to be okay.
Knocked out.
Yeah, I think so too. I think what happens is something like a Dylan White. He hits him with a nice uppercut, doesn't see it coming. They stop the fight. I don't think he gets knocked the fuck out. I think he just, wobbles him. And the referee calls it. It's over. Kind of like
it's one of the only times you'll actually get me to sit down to watch boxing. Is when MMA guys are in there.
But I will say this, Kai. It's actually going to be a hybrid fight.
No.
You know what that means? They're going to be using MMA gloves
Really?
for this. Yeah, so they want to do something like MMA gloves, maybe no takedowns, maybe some kicks. They're going to do something different,
Hmm.
something weird in the middle there. That it's going to be a little
I'd like to
hybrid
see
MMA,
Tyson Fury
boxing
throw
all
a kick.
together.
I'd really like to see that.
In my yeah, actually Darren Till did one session with him, an MMA session to train him a little bit. So if you want to go on YouTube, you can check that
Yeah.
out later if you want. You can see Darren Till Tyson Fury, and he was like, "Damn, bro, you can fucking kick." Well, he is 6'9", 300 and whatever the fuck pounds. So this guy's massive. So of course he has massive legs with a lot of power, and of course he's an amazing boxer. So he could definitely have some
Yeah,
crazy kicks
I'm looking
for
forward
sure,
to it. Look,
for sure.
I like Francis. I hope that he stays in the UFC, but no matter what he does, he's a big star and he can do whatever he fucking wants. The world is his oyster in the combat sports
Literally.
world.
Yeah. And even in the movie world, I know he has a lot of movie roles coming in. As like a massive fucking huge dude, as he is, and specimen that he is. So they put him in some movies
He would be a
too. He should be
perfect
coming out
He would
in
be a
movies
perfect
very.
James Bond villain. Like perfect, especially with his accent. Perfect James Bond villain.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, he might be. Who knows, bro? This guy's the limit for
All right.
him,
So
honestly. Any other stories, Ty? Anything else?
let's go make our picks for this week's UFC. Rob
Oh
Font versus
yes,
Cheeto
let's do
Vera.
that. Let's do that.
Let's this is
Oof, fuck. What
Yeah,
a fight, bro.
you
What
know
a
your
fucking
boy. I
fight.
don't know if you
God
looked at the
damn.
card, but your boy Natan Levy's fighting.
Yes, I do know this. I do know this. I don't know who he's fighting, but I know he's fighting. Let's see who's fighting. Oh, this guy, Mike Breeden. Um, he's got 10 wins, 4 losses. Last loss was KO against Alex Hernandez. Is that Alex
Yes.
Hernandez? And then Natan Levy had the first fight jitters last time he came out. So he was a little bit nervous. You could tell he was overthrowing, not exactly too comfortable in there since it was his first UFC fight, which is fine. He overthrew some. He had some good trips. I think he had some good some takedowns as well. So he didn't underperform. He just didn't go to his maximum potential, which we saw in the contender series. Now, so that was his first loss. He did come in undefeated. Keep that in mind. They don't count the contender fights for some fucking weird reason that it doesn't go on your record. Kind of like the Ultimate Fighter fights. Those also aren't on your record, even though there are definitely full fights. But that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into that. But Nathan Levy did lose by unanimous decision. Last fight was his first fight in the UFC. This is his second one. I think he does a lot better this time. I think he's going to be a lot more relaxed. He's been at the UFC PI training since his last fight. So he's a lot more comfortable with the PI. He's there every single day. I'm sure he walks into the octagon there as well to get a little feel. I could see him doing that. He does have a bigger reach, not by a lot, by 1 inch. And I think he's going to take him down. He's going to take him down. I could definitely see that happening. And we're going to see a different Natan Levy this fight.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm pretty excited to see that. I mean, let's and also I don't know if you saw the coming event. Andrei Arlovsky is back, of course, one of the consummate veterans. I mean, God, what is he on fight 60? What are we talking what are we
I don't
talking
even
about
know.
here? He's this is
Yeah, he's
fight
literally on his 53rd fight. 53rd
yeah
fight.
yeah. I
Crazy.
mean, like
He's 33 and 20. That's his record.
oh,
33 and 20. This guy has 53 fights on his record. I mean, fuck me, dude. Talk about a veteran. He's going up against a guy who's 13 and 6. I mean, I just feel bad for him. I just don't see anything that this guy Jake can do. I'm
Arlovsky by
sorry.
murder.
I just don't see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he might murder him. Might be a murder scene in the octagon. But go ahead, Kyle. What
I
do you
mean,
think
like I
about this
said,
fight?
Arlovsky by murder. I mean, I'm always down to watch Andrei Arlovsky fight, and this is going to be I think it's going to be a quick
Uh,
one.
uh,
I think he's going to get him out of there in the first round or two. It's no
uh,
big deal. I hate to sound like a bit of a casual, but there aren't a lot of fights on this card that I recognize people. The only other fight is that I know the people are Jared Gordon versus Grant Dawson. I've seen both of these people fight. Um, and I think that Grant Dawson has a much better record. I think he has a few better performances. I know he got that weird draw against Ricky Glenn, but I mean, he
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
has, he's very well rounded. He has knockout submissions. He's done it all. So I think that Grant Dawson will take it. I mean, he's fighting Jared Gordon,
Yeah.
who I
No, he's also very good. Three fight
yeah
win streak. He doesn't have as big of a reach, but I mean, significant strikes on average. He has
yeah
almost double his
I see
significant
that fight
strikes in
going
a
to
fight.
decision.
Uh,
Probably Grant Dawson by decision.
I think it's going to be a
Yeah.
war. I think
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going to see a war
This
here.
is a
Yeah, I
potential.
don't think it's going to be
This
an
is a
easy fight
potential
for
fight of
either
the
of them,
night. If Font and Vera
yeah,
if Font
for
and
sure.
Vera underperform, this is likely to be fight of the night.
hmm And we have another veteran on the card, Darren Elkins. He's 27 wins, 10 losses, so he's got a lot of fights on his record. Fighting a guy who's much newer in the division. I mean, they're both coming off losses here. Darren off of Cub Swanson, he got
Oh
knocked
yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah,
we
yeah. I
have
remember.
one by he lost.
I
Yeah,
remember
you
that.
remember that? Yeah, and then we have last one. Tristan came out on. He lost unanimous decision to Sabatini. I do not remember that fight, so I don't want to say anything incorrect, but I don't remember anything that came out of that fight. I don't remember watching that. But of course, Darren is a fucking animal. His nickname is the Damage. He can take all the damage in the world. He's got one of those heads of rock. So I don't know. I could maybe see. I think Darren's going to get knocked out again. I just think he's going to come out blazing. Tristan's going to be just a lot more calm in there. He's going to try to feel him out when Darren is just going to go at him. I think he gets caught. I mean, what do you think, Kai?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said. I don't have any additional comment. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Let's go to the main event. Let's
see
go to the
what
main
he
event.
does.
Rob
The
Font
fighting
versus
stuff.
Cheeto Vera. I'm very
Yeah.
excited for this fight. I'm very
Oh,
excited. Both of these guys have
it's
had amazing performances this last year. I mean,
oh shit.
what do you even say about these two? I mean, Cheeto, I feel like is more well-rounded. I feel especially with his kicks. You know, I think he has a longer reach, if I'm not mistaken. 70.5 inches versus Rob.
No,
Okay,
71 and
so
a half.
Font. Okay, so Rob Font has the.
So yeah, he's a little bit shorter. It's 1 inch off, but nothing crazy. I do think that Rob Font is
Yeah,
faster
yeah,
overall. I think he's quicker. He has more of like a fast twitch muscle type thing. He's a lot quicker, and he's more precise. Not that Cheeto Vera isn't. I mean, we saw the front kick against Frankie Edgar in the last fight.
yeah.
Disgusting. Just knocks him out cold there. So super exciting. But I think it's going to be a fucking war. What a great main event to put on for us. And fuck, dude, I don't even. I have to pick somebody. Oh, shit, if I had to pick somebody, I don't want to go against Sugar Sean. He's one of my favorite fighters. I can't give it to Tito Vera. I just can't. I'm gonna go with Rob Font. I think he's an underdog, if I'm not mistaken. Since he is coming off a loss, a pretty bad one against Aldo, from what I remember, he got beat up pretty bad. I'm gonna go with Rob Font.
The
What
rise
What
of
are you going
Cheeto
with?
is inevitable, my friend. I I I
Wow,
think that
interesting.
Cheeto Vera is one of the most talented fighters in the bantamweight division. I think that I mean I I think it's going to be a war also. I think we're also going to see a war or a late knockout. It's either going to be a war, a decision
Yeah,
war, where the decision can go either way, or we're going to see a late knockout by Cheeto, maybe like a round three knockout. I think that the advantage is to Cheeto. I know that Rob Font has the speed, but Cheeto Vera is just so
yeah,
elusive and he is so well rounded and he can finish this fight 6 ways from Sunday. And he's very good with his output and after watching Rob Font versus Jose Aldo, I think my stock for Font has dropped because I expected Rob Font to dominate that fight and that ended up going the other way. So I think that the rise of Cheeto is
yeah.
inevitable, and I see him winning this fight.
Interesting. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
our
yeah.
picks
Guys,
for this week for all
definitely
the
check
fights.
this one out. This is going to be a good one. And then, of course, the week after that, we have UFC 274, which
Yes, that one. Don't even get me
yeah,
started. I got
we'll
so
talk
much to
about
say
that when
about
we
that
get
one. That one
closer.
we're
Let's
gonna
talk
wait for
about that
next
when
week,
we
guys.
get closer.
We'll talk
But
about next
anyways,
week.
guys, thank you for
Yeah.
being here with us again. Obviously, I'm thankful that it's probably going to be a lot smoother because we didn't try to do live like a bunch of jackasses. So, like the video, subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on YouTube and on Odyssey, and you can follow our Instagram and Twitter at C_I_MMA. I live tweet every UFC event and any other fight card that I watch. Feel free to reach out to us if you ever want to talk fighting. We're always down, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.